Hello, I'm Scott Harms. I represent Turbadium. What Turbadium is an asset-backed tokenization platform. This allows that asset-backed cryptocurrency be actually backed by a real-world asset. So what we have is 3 founding members of Turbadium. That's Andrew Gaizunas, who is my CTO based between San Francisco and Chicago. It's my general counsel, James Quadra, who is based in San Francisco, where I'm also based. And he runs a law firm that specializes in contract law, securities law, real estate law. So what we've done is create what we believe is a very revolutionary platform that allows for a real world and usable fungible cryptocurrency to be traded and backed by a real world asset. So what we're doing is 3 things. Really the 3 main items that we're pushing into the marketplace is the Turbadium's platform to release equity in a locked asset. That's a traditional illiquid asset such as a real estate asset pool. This can be your commercial asset pool, for instance, could be your residential asset pool. But what we've created is an ability to release that equity within that locked asset. And in today's methods of holding real estate, for instance, the only way for you to actually use or have access to your equity that you own is pay someone. So typically you're going to pay your favorite banker or your favorite large high net worth individual that is going to do a hard money loan, for instance, and you're paying points, you're paying percentages of that dollar that you want to receive out of that equity that you have now within that asset. And so we believe there's a new way and a new iteration of how financial services works today and how it can be improved on in the future. And that's one way we're releasing that equity. So we're releasing that equity by actually tokenization of that illiquid asset. So we're using the entire asset value and we're tokenizing that asset value within that piece of real estate asset. So once again, can be a commercial real estate asset, a residential real estate asset, can be an income producing real estate asset. But these are all things that the asset owner has great value to, but to that lender and to the banker in today's model, there's no value in that asset anymore. The value is the individual's or the asset owner's ability to pay back that loan. So you're asked by the lender, how can you pay back this $100,000 HELOC, for instance? How can I pay you back that $200,000 mortgage, for instance? You're only as good, for instance, as you can pay back on that loan, pay back on that debt instrument, if you will. Well, we believe we want to give further control to the actual asset owner, and we're doing that via tokenization of that asset. Now, tokenization is not something that's new. Obviously, in the cryptocurrency world, many things have been tokenized within cryptocurrency, but we believe really the next phase of liquidity within the world is going to be the world's real estate assets. And so that's one of the main drivers of creating Turbadium and creating our platform. The second thing it does is really returns a sound money to the world. So cryptocurrency today, it can be very volatile because there is not a lot of things that are backing that cryptocurrency, for instance. So we believe a cryptocurrency that can be backed by something of real value, you can show that currency has real value backing that currency, then we believe that there's a way to return sound money to the marketplace, for instance. And what we want to do is long-term goal is really to continue to democratize finance within the world. We certainly feel that in today's banking model, the whole reason that blockchain and Bitcoin was created originally in the 2008s and 2009s was from the global financial crisis, and those were led by Wall Street banks, by High Street Bank, for instance, in UK, and these were led by that individual banker believing that the credit worthy borrower, for instance, the person's ability to pay back, all these things were greater than the actual asset that they were valuing. So they were doing a number of things by value an asset and then getting the most benefit they can, the bankers can, to realize different types of liquidity for themselves, leaving, of course, the asset owner basically in the day left holding the bag. So we're looking to really democratize high finance and really the way the traditional lending and traditional finance works today. So, as this is a pitch, we are in the middle of seed round raising, so we're looking to raise $2.5 million seed round, and we've been just in the past 30 days pushing forward with discussions to raise this seed round. What we want to have once our platform launches, and the plan is to launch the platform right in the Q1 of 2019 timeline. We believe that we're going to have right around $400 million of asset values on the platform. Now it's tokenization asset value, so a tradable asset value might be around in the $100 to $150 million range. But these are assets that are here in California. We're licensed throughout California right now to do business, and we're pushing hard to do business in the other 50 states, of course, and all jurisdictions, that recognize the normal U.S. financial and real estate type laws. Once again, because we're a type of money transmitter, we're certainly we want to play in regulation, so we're certainly FinCEN and SEC boundaries. We work within these boundaries. We're not doing anything that really reinvents the wheel, but we are taking the process and digitizing that process and allowing you to do something better, smarter, and really a new way to offer financial services. So some of the ways today for that asset, for instance, assets today, like I said, the banker will not lend just on that asset. If I went into, just up the street here to HSBC or Chase, and I had a $1 million piece of asset, yet I had no income, or I had no assets of my own to prove that I can pay back something that I want from that banker, then that $1 million asset to that banker is not very valuable. Actually, it's not valuable at all. Unless they give me 10 or 12 or 15% interest rates, they're only going to talk to me if I have the ability to pay back any kind of funds I want out of that $1 million asset, for instance. Well, we believe that we're going to give asset owners and people who control assets really a better way to transact in the future, better ways to create liquidity with this asset. And we certainly feel, as we're pushing the platform forward, there will be an end to foreclosures, an end to any kind of belief that a credit worthiness for a borrower is the main goal. We always believe that the asset and what that asset makes up and the real world value that the asset makes up is the number one goal. So, we believe that there's can be a release of any kind of interest payments because you're not lending anything, you're not requiring any kind of payment, for instance, because this is crowdfunded through cryptocurrency. You're actually creating a liquidity event through that cryptocurrency exchange, and then that backing of that currency, of course, is back to that real world asset. So the owner of the asset still can use that asset. The owner of the asset can, for instance, if it's an apartment building, can still rent out that apartment building and create income for themselves because they still have full use rights. But on the cryptocurrency side, of course, you have a real world asset that is backing that cryptocurrency. So we believe there's true value there to both sides, not only cryptocurrency holder by having real value backing that cryptocurrency that they can use now to go get a Starbucks and go get a Pete's Coffee and go buy a pizza, right? But we believe that true value can be shared there. So some of the things I had mentioned is, to actually create the liquidity. You're creating that token, you're creating the tokenization event for that asset, and then you're depositing that token within our platform and using that, you're telling the exchange that you have given rights of that token to be exchanged for cryptocurrency, for instance. And what we want to do is really allow the cryptocurrency investors to have something that's very stable, That's something that's really backed by something of real value in the world, but also they want liquidity to their value. And we can do that by also having the stability of that asset that currency is going to represent. I'm at scott@turbadium.com or @turbadium. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Scott.